And I'm seeing that in conferences. I'm seeing like people are just coming back to being in person together, on how important it is to understand how people work. One of the questions I did have for you was, like, we have a couple different teams or people on different continents, and we have some time zone issues. Like we have like like three major time zones that we're rotating through. And as we were moving to that, we were dealing with like, hey, when are you available? When are your kind of office hours that you can talk, especially on the like web design side, right? Like we needed to have a webmaster 24/7, like, because if one webmaster, like the sun sets and they go to bed, like we need to have another webmaster to be able to pick it up if something happens with the website. And so we worked a lot on forcing people to a certain degree of talking. Like you need to talk, especially new team members. We've actually like bundled like a new team member with the old team member so you can go to that person and like ask the questions. Because when you get on a big call, even like me, I started having one-on-ones with a lot of people on the team, because when I got on a call, everybody would be like scared of me or something, right? And they wouldn't say things. And so I've tried to kind of modularize it and kind of break it apart and have different groups talking with people on so many different continents. What are some best practices of how you've implemented having everybody communicate and talk?
Yeah, extremely important, of course. So transparency becomes an issue because, again, you're not physically there in person. You don't overhear folks chatting about whatever. So, yeah, in our case, for all of the new people, we use Google stuff, Google Sheets, Google Docs. We use Google Chat for communications, Google Meet for video calls and all that stuff. So yeah, we have basically just a spreadsheet, Google Sheet with everybody's availability in terms of their time zone, and we just uh, uh, convert it all to Eastern time, or it used to be Central time, now it's Eastern time. And then so that anybody new on the team can just go and quickly check. But then we also encourage folks. It's not almost encourage. It's like it is an SOP in a sense, standard operating thing that you have to do when you join our team. In Google Chat, you can set statuses.
Yeah.
So it's required for you to have a current status of whatever it is. So if you're working, just say here working. If you are taking a lunch break, it's good. You should say I'm on a lunch break. If you have some kind of doctor appointment or whatever, doctor appointment, be back at 1 p.m. Eastern, and so on and so on. So this way, it becomes very quickly and easily. You open in Google Meets, you can open the person, like click on the person and see their chat, and the status pops up right away. Or you can even just hover, and there's little emojis that now we kind of have almost like a standard set of emojis, uh, which means I'm either working or off or running some kind of errand or whatever. And uh, with time being the why, we don't have set hours. Here it's kind of do your work. Obviously, if there's a meeting you have to attend, you need to be at the meeting. But otherwise, as long as you do your work, we don't care what time you work. I myself, I am the night owl, so my prime time is around midnight, my time. So, and then in the morning, you wake me up at 8 a.m. I can't put two words together. So yeah, just whatever works best for you. And in terms of you mentioned because there are tons of time differences, and at some point we don't have at the moment, but we had two people actually. One was in Thailand, another one in Bali, and we're in US. That's literally 13 hours difference. So getting together with those folks was quite painful, even on video calls. So what we started doing for somewhat of a key roles, like for example, you mentioned webmaster, which in our case it will be basically head developer. We started doing uh, backups for people.
Yeah.
So right now we have our head developer. He is in Europe, and actually, if anybody who's listening, if you know somebody or if you are a full stack developer with a lot of experience, please reach out. We need someone who lives close to um Eastern time zone or US time zone. So any kind of South America, Central America, or obviously North America. If you're in any of the Americas, please reach out. We need somebody with a lot of experience for a head developer. And yeah, basically, if the our main guy is not available because it's night, we do have somebody who can cover for him if client reaches out when he's asleep to do some changes quickly on during the time when he's not available. So yeah, just in certain cases for certain key positions, we have to have that
The duplication. I always,
duplication. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Is there anything else? I want to go down another pathway, but I want to make sure if there was anything else about like remote work that you think would be useful to share or highlight before we switch topics.
Oh, there's so much stuff to talk about, and maybe it's a topic for another time. I don't know, but for since the whole idea here is to talk about the folks who are watching. If you are remote, if you work remote and don't get to see your team often, sometimes there's that complacency that comes from just being by yourself at your home. And I myself feel that sometimes. So it's kind of you get complacent. You know what? Today I just gonna take it easy.